All right, what's good, y'all? It's SS1. I know it's been 2 months since I posted, 2 to 3 months since I posted. To be frank with y'all, I didn't really know what to post, so I didn't post, you know what I'm saying? But we back at it. The subject of today's video is how to get 100s on all your grades, all your subjects. I'm not talking about just straight getting A's, right? I'm talking about straight 100s. And, you know, a lot of you are probably thinking like, oh, why would I aim for 100 when A is good enough? You know, on my GPA, A is all I need for a 4. The difference between just a low A and a high A, there's no difference. So why would I aim for 100? Let me tell you why you aim for 100, right? You aim for 100 because when you're aiming for just a low A, let's say you aim for a 90, right? You automatically set your potential, like your limit is at 90 because you hit 90, right? You're okay with that. You're fine with that. So you don't do nothing extra to get the higher grade, to get the higher A, right? But let's say you going for 100. You know what I'm saying? You put in all your effort, even if you have like a 93, you're putting in all your effort to try to get as high as possible. And this is important because let's say 9 weeks, right? You get a 92 and you're okay with that. You're like, oh, 92, I got an A. I'm good. Bro, you get a 92, right? You're good, right? Let's say for the next few 9 weeks, you're really struggling the subject. Let's say it's math. You get a 92 in math for 9 weeks. Next 9 weeks, you know, a really hard unit coming up. You're like really struggling with this unit, and you end up getting a B. If you got a high A, right? Let's say you had a 98, right? And then you had a B, it's most likely gonna average out to at least an A. But because you was, you know what I'm saying, too lazy, too like accustomed to just a low A, now your grade's a B. And that's why it's a problem, you know what I'm saying? You gotta strive for perfection, you gotta strive for excellence, and that's gonna get you excellent results. So Tony, how do you get 100 on your test grades? Off base, y'all should get an organizing system, right? No matter if it's to-do list, agenda book, schedule, calendar, whatever you have, right? You have to stay organized. Why should you stay organized, Tony? You stay organized because if you're unorganized, you have a random test coming up. You're like, oh my God, bro, I forgot there's a test. Like everybody has that experience where it's like, bro, there's a test, bro, I didn't study. And then you get a bad grade. You're like, bro, if I knew I had a test, I could have easily aced that test. But because you're unorganized, you didn't know there's a test. So you sold. And now your GPA is trash. But so you have to stay organized, right? And what I do personally, I have 2 systems. Well, basically, technically 1 system, but like 2 different applications, right? So I have the Reminders app and I use Notes on my phone. Every day, right, on the Reminders app, I say, okay, what am I doing in the day? Or if I need to study for something, if I need to do homework or something, right? That's going to be in my daily to-do list. And then in the Notes app, I have like my school to-do list, which is all the assignments or upcoming projects, tests that I have coming up. Or I'd be like, test November 10th or something like that, right? And then I'll adjust my agenda to fit like my study schedule, right? So once you get organized, you've already had a lot of people. So, you know, you stay organized, you have a test coming. Like your study schedule will depend on who you are. Some people pick up things very fast. They don't need to study that much. Some people take way longer to study, and you know, that's fine. As long as you know your capabilities and you know how to schedule your studying times for that, right? There's like many different ways to study. Look them up, you know what I'm saying? Like there's like the Pomodoro effect, there's a technique, like stuff like that. You can look those up on your own. I'll just look best ways to study. But as long as you're actually putting in the effort to understand the concept and grasp like what you are actually reading or looking at, then you'll be fine. Like you actually have to, don't settle for like half understandings. Like a lot of people, when they're studying for like tests or like a big exam coming up, right? They try to study it and know like a little bit of a concept, like, yeah, I kind of know what I'm doing. And then when they get to the exam, they expect to like know everything confidently and like, yeah, why did I only get a C? Why did I get a C? Why did I get a B? And then they look back when they were studying, they're like, yeah, kind of, now that I think about it, I really only grasp it on like a very surface level. Like, try to deeply understand the concepts. Think conceptually And when you start to like study better, everything works around you. Like I know both coins because freshman year, middle school maybe too, like maybe middle school, but mainly freshman year and sophomore year, right? I was one of those people. And what happened was last year I almost sold. Like not gonna lie, I almost sold for this pre-cal class, bro. I did not pay attention during class. I studied the day of the test, barely in the morning during my first block, and then I would come in the test and be like, bro, why did I get a C on the quiz? Why did I get a C on the test or B on the test? Bro, like obviously you're gonna get a bad grade if you don't like, studying is important, but it's also important to like when you're in class, try to stay engaged. Like it's hard to stay engaged when you're like with a lot of friends that are like fun and funny to hang out with and all that. So, I understand that for sure. But there's this term, right? So it's called cognitive loading, right? So cognitive load is basically the load your brain has when you're learning something, like the load your brain can take, right? What's very important to learning is how you take in this information. So when you're in class, right, and you're half-assed in that class, be like, how you're just cracking jokes out of the class, all this, all right, and then you try to study later with no assistance, it's hard to learn, like, it's hard to learn the concept, right, like, by yourself. But if you're in class, you're engaged, and you're actually taking in what the teacher is saying, it's easier to pick up on the concept because you can ask them questions if you don't get it. It's easier to take it from the teacher than try to learn it yourself. So it's important to stay engaged during class. When you're outside of class, put in the extra effort to understand what what the teacher said or taught, and two, just put in the extra effort to study for a test, a quiz, an exam. Put in at least a little effort. The little effort goes a long way. It would be better if you study for like 10 to 20 minutes on something than just not study at all, because your brain, at least it picks up on something, right? But my big advice to y'all is your brain is like very good at pattern recognition. Very good at pattern recognition. So once you understand the concept of pattern recognition, school becomes so easy. Because most tests are literally just patterns. It's the same type of problem, different words, different numbers. So math test, right? What I be doing is like, okay, I put it whenever I'm studying, I make like a study guide, right? And I'm like types of questions of like the review sheet she gave us, or like a Delta math she gave us. I do types of questions, right? And then I list out I type the types of questions, or I write it, and I'm like, okay, what are the steps to answer this type of question? And then, I do, oh yeah, so plug in this, I do this, I do that. And then you just, keep practicing with examples. Your mind will eventually pick up the pattern of doing this type of question. And pattern recognition is not important just in schoolwork. It's important just in your habits in general. Let's say, right, you're on your phone. So like you're scrolling on your social medias, and then, you have a thought in your head and you're like, bro, I should really be studying right now. If you stay on your phone and keep scrolling, if another situation like that pops up, your brain would be like, yeah, my normal is just to stay on my phone. But if you're on your phone, you get the idea of studying, and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna get my ass off the bed and I'm gonna start studying. Then, your body and mind will start recognizing if you keep doing that as a pattern, and that will become your normal. So whenever you have the thought, you just, okay, boom, boom. Not just when you're taking notes in class, right? Everyone is like, they write down, word for word what the teacher writes down on the board. And, most of the time people just write down like what they say, the formula or whatever they're saying, like just mindlessly, word for word, because, they're not trying to miss the lesson. Like, what if you come home and you didn't write it word for word, so you don't know what to study after? No, like, don't do that. What you need to do is, right, okay, let's say they're teaching something. First, I would try to understand what are they saying? What are they saying, right? So they say whatever they're saying, and then you're like, okay, in my head, that's how you know what I'm saying, blah, blah, blah. You go through the system of trying to understand what they're saying, and then you kind of just paraphrase what they're saying in your own words. And like, it's annoying sometimes. Those assignments for like, write the answers in your own words, and you're annoyed. It is important to, like, when you're taking notes, to do it in your own words, because at the end of the day, when you put it in your own words, you're gonna remember your own words way more than mindlessly, jotting down what they're saying on the board. But so there's three main things that's important, right? So that I've covered. It's taking in the information, it's taking notes, like how well do you take notes, and then studying. So a lot of people, when they study, they're like, yeah, I'm just look over my notes real quick. I'm just look over my notes, and then, I'm ready for the test. That's the studying I'm going to do. But if you want to get hundreds on your classes, right, I need you to understand the lesson on a conceptual level. I keep repeating it over and over. I need you to understand the lessons on a conceptual level, right? In this any class, not just biology, even math. And you're like, bro, how do I understand the concepts of 2x plus 5 equals 7? How do I understand the concepts of that? You understand the concepts, you break it down. Why are you doing this? Let's say you do an example, right? You get it right. Good, you got it right. But let's say you get it wrong. Why'd you get it wrong? How do you do it? And then you just break it down in many different sections. Okay, I got it wrong. Why'd I get it wrong? How do you do it the right way? Why did I think like I did think? How do I further build? When I get a question like this, freaking, what do I do to get right? What type of question even is this? Like, you have to break it down into different sections, right? Different little concepts. And when you do that, it becomes easy. If you're actually taking hard classes, which you all should be doing, it's going to take time. It's going to take effort to get these high A's. Like 99.99% of y'all are not just geniuses that are like, yeah, I don't need to study for anything and I'll get 100 on everything. Like, even if you are a genius, you still have to put in effort to complete the assignments, complete the projects, right? So you first, bare minimum, you need the mindset. You need to come and be like, bro, I'm about to study my ass off. I'm about to do anything. I'm not trying to settle for anything less than 98, 97 and up. That's what your mindset should be. So these are few main things, right? You should not be letting homework get in the way of your grade. In my past years, right, like when I wasn't really like going crazy in school, I would get an A, but I would have like a few missing assignments, but I didn't really care because, like, okay, I had a few missing assignments, but my final grade's still A, right? But like I said before, if you're trying to aim for that high A plus, right, you cannot let easy missing assignments stop you from having those high grades, right? Like, literally, like, the only reasons you should be having not an A plus or just a good grade in general is because maybe a hard unit's coming up, or like a unit just stumping you and you're like, what, bro, how do I do this? That would be the only justifiable reason why your grade would be low. But if it's because of a missing assignment, you gotta lock in. You can't be like, yeah, I get A's, I'm gonna get A pluses, and freaking let your grade be dropped by missing assignments because you want to be average. Like, stop with that mindset. First thing first, right? Most classes, to be frank with y'all, are usually just straight completion. If you just, do the work and show that you put in effort, most teachers will be like, oh, we put in effort, I give you 100. But let's say it's like tests, quizzes, maybe projects, right? So this is where your study techniques come in, your study habits, right? Bro, when you're complaining, it adds nothing but just negative energy in your life. Like, it's not doing any good for yourself. Like, unless you're actively trying to do something to improve on your problem, then, like, you're just wasting oxygen. Like, you're like, bro, why do I feel so tired on 4 hours of sleep? Like, bro, get your sleep, bro. Like, your ability to excel in school is really based off time management. Why is it based off time management? I hear a lot of people, they're like, dude, I have to do this. Like, how do teachers expect to do this, all this work? Bro, I have stuff outside of school. I have this club, I have that club, I have this activity, I have that volunteering activity. When you're saying this, it's excuses. And what I say is, bro, think of the Ivy League college students, like all like Harvard students, like people like them, right? Bro, their extracurriculars were crazy. The stuff they did out of school were crazy. They did research, internships, freaking volunteering, did everything you could do, right? Outside of school, they did sports, stuff like that. Everything you could have done outside of school, they did that. And they were valedictorians. They were top of their class, great grades. So when people come around, they're like, dude, I don't have time for this. It's not about I don't have time for this. It's about how do you make time? How do you make time for this? Because let's be for real. If your friend, oh yeah, hey, you want to hop on the game, bro? You want to get a game in real quick? You would free up your time to play with them because you know what I'm saying, you're trying to play with your friend. That's cool to you. But you could literally, as easy as it is to free up time to play games, it's as easy as it is to free up time to study. I get it. There's a lot, people have responsibilities they need to do, outside of school. And that's respectable. But you are not the only one. You are not the only one with, 3, 4, 5 things to juggle outside of school and, try to get good grades. You're not the only one, bro. You're not special. You're not special. And, this mindset really, kills you because it just closes off your mind to getting good grades because you're like, bro, because I have so many things to do, I can't get good grades. So I guess I can't get good grades. And that will really close your mind. You really won't be able to get good grades if you don't think you'll be good grades. That's important step number 1. Open your mind. Be open-minded. That isn't just for school. That's just for life. Be open-minded. Don't be closed-minded to the possibilities. Bro, if you need to get 100 on this test to stay 4.0 GPA and you will have a day to study, you better grind your ass off to get that. You better grind your ass off to get that A. Not and like it's better to do that, grind your ass off to get that A, than just be like, well, I just have a day. I guess I can't get that A. I don't have enough time to study. Get your ass on the damn computers and the books. You know what I'm saying? If you just lay around excuses, closed-minded, then you gonna stay stagnant forever. You're not gonna achieve nothing, bro. Like on a real note, you's not gonna achieve nothing. You gotta stay open-minded, bro. But anyways, I rambled on enough. If you like this video, me basically just screaming at y'all for however long this video is, drop a like, hit that subscribe button, post notice, comment what you want to see next, and I'll hit you on the next one.